What's up, everybody? This is the Chicago Sports Talk. Michael back at it with another video talking, of course, the Chicago Bears. This video is going to be another long one, so get your popcorn ready, get your drinks. Let's get right into it. This video is going to be particular how Matt Eberflus turned the Chicago Bears defense into a legendary defense. So let's talk about Matt Eberflus. And everyone knows my opinion on Matt Eberflus. I think he's going on the hot seat next year, but this is my honest opinion, and this is how I think he turned the defense around. The question about Eberflus was his philosophy that he brings to the Chicago Bears. And I questioned a lot of Eberflus's techniques, along with how much he turned around the defense. Granted, it was because of Alan Williams' play. It was because of the Alan Williams situation that the Bears dealt with in the season. But ever since Eberflus took over the plays, the Bears defense looked like a totally different defense. Granted, it took a lot of time to gel, and there are a lot of Bears fans, including me, question Eberflus's ability to coach this defense because the Bears had 3 blown leads. Granted, it was two out of the 3 games was because of the offense couldn't put up points on the board, but there were many times where the defense kept the Bears in the games. It was just the offense couldn't put up points. And what really changed the defense was acquiring a guy like Montez Sweat into the mix. And it's gotten guys involved like Tyreek Stevenson, Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, Kyler Gordon, and also Jaquan Brisker. It's getting players like those involved a lot. And Matt Eberflus has coached a lot of, has developed good players in this defense. Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards are 2 very good, solid linebackers. We have the best linebackers in the NFL, if not one of the best. So I'll just say this. We have one of the best linebackers in the NFL. We have the best cornerbacks in the NFL. Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, and Tyreek Stevenson. Also developed guys like Terrell Smith. Also developed guys like Andrew Billings, Javon Dexter. Also guys like who else? Unique Ngakwe, even though he had a quiet year, he got into it when Montez Sweat took over. And ever since Eberflus took over the plays, this Bears defense actually looked dominant when the season ended because the Bears had 22 turnovers, fumbles, interceptions. And this Bears defense hasn't been that exciting since 2018. Because remember, the Bears had talent on the defense even before the Poles and Eberflus era. It was just they didn't have the proper coaching besides Vic Fangio. So Matt Eberflus turned this defense into it's basically what Lovie Smith did. And the strength has always been our defense. But the question for Eberflus is how he can do as on the offensive side of the ball. Because we talk about, he may be a good offensive coordinator. I mean, not good offensive. He may be a good defensive coordinator, but the offensive side of the ball concerns me because, granted, he made up the Luke Getsy decision by bringing in Shane Waldron, a guy that resurrected Geno Smith's career. And the question of Eberflus is, can he coach the whole team? Look, there's a difference from what I see from Matt Eberflus with the other head coaches. And granted, I've said that Eberflus looked like he was the bottom of the barrel, but Matt Nagy, people just didn't like Matt Nagy. People just didn't like. If you hear the players in the locker room right now compared to what around Matt Nagy, the players did not like Matt Nagy. The players around here respect and work hard for Matt Eberflus. And Eberflus has still a lot to prove under his quarterback that he handpicked, the defense that, he has coached to the best of his ability. And the time in Indianapolis, he has always had a top 10 defense. I think the one thing Eberflus needs to improve on when it comes to the defense is holding on to leads, because there were times where he would put Justin Jones on a receiver and that would never go well. And he did admit a lot of times that he wished he could have had that play back, because there were a lot of times where Eberflus didn't make the best decision. So Matt Eberflus has still ton to prove on the Chicago Bears. However, I do gotta say this: the Eberflus turned around the Bears defense and I know they were ranked 5th in sacks in 2022, but we didn't have any cornerbacks. We had no secondary that year. People like we didn't have there were multiple games that could have went our way, but our defense gave up. And there was talent. There was Mack, there was Hicks, there was Goldman, there was Robert Quinn, there was Roquan Smith. Matt Eberflus turned around this defense and made them a top unit in the National Football League. And the defense is still going to be dominant as always, and it's going to be up to the offense. But like I will say, if Eberflus guaranteed himself at least two more, at least I'll say this: Eberflus earned himself another year to show that he can lead the Bears. But like I said, the question, like when Eberflus got hired, I questioned it as well, because I didn't expect us to get a defensive coordinator as a head coach. I wanted us to get an offensive coordinator as a head coach. Like there was other options like a Mike McDaniels. There was other options like a Ben Johnson, but he decided to go with Eberflus because Eberflus knows this defense can do good and he can utilize it. And the hits philosophy and the turnover philosophy. And every game this down the stretch, the Bears defense looked like they were getting turnovers every single game. And I feel like that's going to continue in the 2024 NFL season. Now, I do gotta say this. Getting a new quarterback scares me a little bit because of the quarterback cycle. But I do feel like Eberflus, as long as he can coach this defense and turn the ball and get turnovers and put the offense into good field position, I feel like Caleb Williams, all he has to do is don't play hero ball too much. And with how the Bears' schedule is very easy, the Bears are looking like they're going to go up against not so much very dominant offenses. So that's my thoughts about how Matt Eberflus turned around the Chicago Bears defense. Again, like I said, I will always say this: there is still a lot of question with Matt Eberflus because he has a losing record as a head coach. But I do remember when the Lions started off 1-7, there were a lot of Lions fans wanting Dan Campbell's head. They were saying, fire Dan Campbell. His philosophy doesn't hit well. And guess what? The Lions ended the season on a very good note. And last year, they made it all the way to the title game. Because Dan Campbell coaches to win football games, even though the Lions were at a struggling point. And the Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions are very similar in rebuilds. They didn't start off good the first year. They finished the season off strong after a rough start. And the third year, the Lions made it to the championship game. Could the Bears look to do that? And they're going to be on Hard Knocks this year, another thing to mention, because the Lions were featured on Hard Knocks. And like I said, I'm not trying to compare Eberflus to Dan Campbell because Dan Campbell has done a lot than Eberflus, but it's a sort of similar path, in my opinion. But anyways, that's my thoughts about Matt Eberflus. Let me know in the comment section down below if you agree with everything that I said. As always, thanks for watching and bear down.